a story of an ordinary family thrust into a nightmare that lasted over a decade. It's the Smurl family haunting, a chilling saga that unfolded in West Pittston, Pennsylvania from 1974 to 1987. This isn't just a tale of ghosts, it's a descent into a demonic force that tore a family apart and left the world questioning what lurks in the places we call home. Welcome to the Smurl family haunting, a true demonic nightmare, and trust me, this one will keep you hooked until the very end. I first came across the Smurl case while researching for my channel, looking for stories that weren't just spooky, but carried a weight, a rawness that made you feel the fear. The Smurls weren't thrill seekers or ghost hunters. They were a working-class Catholic family, the kind of people you'd pass on the street without a second glance. Yet, for 13 years, their home became a battleground for something evil. Something that defied explanation. The case drew the attention of famed demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, inspired a best-selling book and even a TV movie. But the real story is darker, more visceral than any adaptation. I've pored over interviews, police reports, and the Warrens' notes, piecing together what happened in that house on Chase Street. This is the story of Jack and Janet Smurl, their 4 daughters, and the terror that turned their American dream into a living hell. It all started in August 1974, when Jack and Janet Smurl, both in their early 30s, moved into a duplex at 328 to 330 Chase Street in West Pittston, a small, tight-knit town along the Susquehanna River. Jack was a medical supplies salesman, steady and practical, with a quick laugh and a deep faith. Janet was a homemaker, warm but no nonsense, the glue holding their family together. They had 2 young daughters, Dawn and Heather, with twins, Erin and Karen, born later. The duplex was a steel, spacious, with 3 bedrooms on their side, a shared basement, and a backyard for the girls. They shared the other half with Jack's parents, John and Mary Smurl, who'd fled their previous home after Hurricane Agnes flooded Wilkes Barre in 1972. It was a fresh start, a place to build memories. But from the moment they moved in, something felt off. At first, it was small things, easy to dismiss. Tools Jack left in the basement would vanish, only to reappear in the attic. Dishes would rattle in the cabinets, as if someone were shaking them. Janet noticed cold spots, pockets of air that made her shiver even in summer. She'd hear footsteps at night, heavy and deliberate, pacing the hallway outside the girls' room. She'd check, heart pounding, but find nothing, just the dark, silent house. Jack, ever the skeptic, blamed the old building, its creaky floors and drafty windows. But the girls, especially Dawn, then 6, started waking up crying, saying they saw shadows in their room, tall figures with no faces. Janet tried to soothe them, but the fear in their eyes mirrored her own growing unease. By 1975, the disturbances grew harder to ignore. The radio in the living room would blast static at full volume, even when unplugged. Lights flickered, sometimes exploding in their sockets, showering glass. The family's dog, a German shepherd named Simon, would growl at empty corners, his hackles raised. One night, Janet was in the kitchen when a faucet turned on by itself, spraying water so forcefully it soaked her. She screamed, and Jack ran in, but the faucet was off, the floor dry. "It's just stress," he said, but his voice shook. The Smurls were devout Catholics, attending Mass weekly, and Janet began praying more, clutching her rosary, asking God to protect their home. But the house seemed to mock her faith. In 1977, the activity took a darker turn. Dawn, now 9, woke screaming, claiming a black shape had pinned her to her bed, its weight crushing her chest. Janet found her gasping, red marks on her arms like fingerprints. The next day, Heather, 5, refused to sleep in her room, saying a lady with no eyes watched her from the closet. The girl's fear was contagious, and even Jack, who'd dismissed it all as imagination, started to waver. Then came the smells: rotting meat, sulfur, a stench that filled the house and vanished just as quickly. John and Mary, in the other half of the duplex, heard it too, along with bangs and scratches in their walls. Mary, a devout woman, hung crucifixes, but they'd fall, sometimes shattering. The family began to suspect something supernatural, something that wasn't just haunting the house, it was targeting them. By 1980, the Smurls were living in a state of dread. The disturbances were constant, doors slamming, footsteps racing up the stairs, whispers in the dark. Janet saw it first, a figure, tall and black, humanoid but featureless, standing at the foot of her bed. She froze, her scream caught in her throat as it glided toward her, then vanished through the wall. She woke Jack, sobbing, but he saw nothing, though he felt the room's icy chill. Soon Jack saw it too, a shadow in the hallway, its edges blurring like smoke, watching him. The girls reported the same figure, sometimes multiple, lurking in their rooms. Dawn, now a teenager, kept a diary, writing, "It knows my name. It wants me." Janet burned the pages, terrified of what it meant. The Smurls tried to fight back. They called their priest, Father Robert McKenna, who blessed the house with holy water. But the activity surged. Objects flew. A mirror in the girls' room cracked, and the holy water burned Janet's hand, blistering her skin. McKenna suggested a demonic presence, urging them to contact experts. In 1985, desperate, Janet wrote to Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous demonologists known for cases like Amityville. The Warrens arrived in February, bringing a team of paranormal investigators, including a psychic and a medium. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, stepped into the house and froze. "This is no ordinary haunting," she said. "You're dealing with a demonic infestation, multiple entities, powerful and intelligent." The Warrens' investigation was intense. They set up cameras, audio recorders and motion sensors, spending weeks in the house. Lorraine sensed 4 spirits, a malevolent leader, a female entity, and 2 lesser demons, all bent on breaking the Smurls' faith. Ed, a demonologist, provoked the entities, demanding they reveal themselves. The response was immediate. Bangs shook the walls, a chandelier swung, and a voice, deep and guttural, growled, "Get out!" The team captured EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, whispering curses and the family's names. One night, the psychic, Mary Alice, saw the black figure in the basement, its eyes glowing red, and fainted. The Warrens concluded the demons were drawn to the Smurls' strong faith, targeting them to sow despair. The Smurls' life became a nightmare. The entities attacked physically. Jack was thrown down the stairs, his back bruised. Janet felt hands grab her in the shower, leaving welts. Dawn, now 16, was the focus. Her bed levitated, and she was slapped by invisible forces, her screams waking the house. The twins, Erin and Karen, saw faces in their windows, skeletal and grinning. Simon, the dog, was found whimpering, his fur singed as if burned. The smells grew worse, a mix of decay and sulfur that made neighbors gag.